could be a whole new evolution for us. Many of my guests talk about it like the the larvae turning into the butterfly, and that in that process everything gets melted down inside the cocoon, but the cells form this brand new form of life. So it's quite possible that this is going to be a wonderful and exciting a moment, period of time for us to evolve into, isn't it?
Yeah, there certainly is. There are. Let me point out a few things. One is that this ninth wave that is about to be activated, strictly speaking, March 9th, 2011. It's a wave of consciousness, a wave that we may expect shifts our frame of consciousness in such a way as to produce an experience of unity of all things.
Mm.
And this, I think, is really to the extent that we're able to embody this new consciousness, we will also be perceiving the world in a completely new way. And as we change our perception in accordance with this new frame of consciousness, we will also be recreating a new world. And with a unity consciousness, we will probably not be recreating a world of conflicts or separation.
Mm-hmm.
And not only then I'm talking about separation between genders or separation between different groups of people, but
mm-hmm.
also the separation between ourselves and nature. And
mm-hmm.
This is one of the areas where I think our previous frame of consciousness, we're now starting to see that it has had very dangerous consequences. Our experience of a separation from nature has led us to exploit it in such a way that we have not taken into consideration what's needed for a harmonious functioning of the whole planetary ecological system and so forth.
No kidding.
Yeah.
We can see that with the major oil spills and just the various ecological disasters that seem to all be hitting. They're merging in some kind of time frame that's not going to knock us, be a 1-2 punch if we're not careful.
Yep.
So, so this when we're able to experience the unity wave, now, would there be some who will be so resistant or so closed off within themselves or so used to a certain type of behavior that they're not able to use these energies? Or do you think that was something that will just transform all of us?
Well, this is guesswork on my part.
Okay.
So my guess is that it will not affect everyone, and it's something that will be initially it will be what shall I say, absorbed or assimilated of some kind of a minority of people, and then the question is over time. How many of those that did not immediately grasp it, how many of them will then come to at a later point when you might say the cosmic energies have stabilized and created this fully built building? Are they going to turn and change into this new consciousness or not? And I really have no answer on this. What I know from the past, from times when there's been a significant shift in the Mayan calendar, it's usually something that initially it's just a very small minority that is driven by the new consciousness, and but over time it expands to other groups. I think that's something that will apply also in this situation.
Well, that makes a lot of sense, and of course in your book you point out in great detail about how our inner biology reflects this cosmology as well, and that even intent can trigger the inner antenna to evolve. And of course, with these higher energies coming in, we're part of those energies because everything is interconnected, and you can't separate any particular thing out and say, well, this doesn't belong in here, it's not part of it. It's all an interconnected life form.
Yeah.
So we could be changed from within as well, couldn't we, on the molecular level?
I don't really expect that. I know a lot of people are talking about DNA changes and so forth, but that is, scientifically speaking, that's completely unverified. I think that's just
right.
It's just people are having the intuition that is so, and then they say it. But
right.
There's a lot of people like to do those things, maybe not. I guess not, but it's unsustained, and so I don't necessarily think that our physiological makeup will change in the coming times ahead.
Okay, but our consciousness,
yes,
is what will be.
Yes, and that is what these waves are bringing, and I got track a little bit. Yes, but
all right.
I might want to enter this particular topic of the so-called conscious convergence.
Yes, I wanted to ask you about that.
Yes.
And get that out into the airwaves.
Yes.
That you've created or are creating something that goes beyond anything we've done before, like the harmonic convergence. And it's a global conscious convergence on July 17th and 18th, isn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Would you like to just talk about that as much as you like? Because I think that's really important.
Thank you. Yes. Well, we are creating, it's not just me, this is a worldwide thing. And we have been a little bit slow, I must say, in getting the website up, the consciousconvergence.com. But basically it is sort of a time for, we're calling for a gathering of people to prepare for this shift towards unity consciousness. Mm-hmm. And so in those particular dates, 17th and 18th of July, we are calling for people to set the intention to manifest unity consciousness. This then is something that we, based on the Mayan calendar, we may expect that this kind of a shift is about to happen, and we may expect as well that in this fall, as this new, as we go taking the direction towards this new unity consciousness, that maybe many of the old kind of structures that are not consistent with unity consciousness will indeed come to collapse. Mm-hmm. But the idea here is really to say that we have to ask for it, basically. We have to set this kind of intention. And it's also not only that we have to do that if we want to see it happen, of course, but it's also that there is a need today to make this kind of an intention or this kind of a direction into a collective phenomena. It's like a choice that each one of us needs to make by ourselves, individually. So we are, the idea is that July 17th, 18th, it's a time when we should ask ourselves if we are authentically willing to set this particular intention, which is something that would really potentially cause a great shift in how our entire civilization operates. But by doing it at the same time, as sort of setting up a base camp for the final climb to the top of the pyramid, it will become more of a, it will be an intention that lives a life of its own. And it will be like a rope for people to hold on to, as in many ways I expect that times will be difficult in the years ahead. We will be facing situations that we've never faced before and full of surprises. Some of them we might look upon as very positive, but some of them might also be very disruptive and disturbing and so forth. And what we then will need is some kind of a sense, a common sense among us, a collective sense that there exists this kind of a direction to see our entire civilization transformed into one of that is based on unity consciousness. And so that's the reason we are calling for gatherings. Of course, you can do this by yourself, and that's good if it's all authentic and strong like that. But we are still encouraging people to gather to do so, because that strengthens the whole thing. That makes it live in another way in society than it would if it's just by isolated individuals.
Well, I'm planning on having a conscious convergence gathering here at my home up in the mountains.
Yes.
And so I'm going to be doing something like that as well, and it will help raise awareness. And
yes.
And I think you just hit it on the head, that there are so many separate groups that have good intentions. Yes. But there's not a cohesiveness and not a coming together of what really needs to happen, and that is a commonness and a unity of intent. So this is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for all of us to, as you said, come together and kind of create a Jacob's ladder. And we're going to need it, as you said, in the future. So I think this is a wonderful thing.
Thank you. Yes, I'm happy you say so. I should say one thing that makes me very excited about it is that there are now literally people in the different corners of the world that have pledged to participate in this. For instance, some significant Mayan elders have said that they want to make ceremonies on these particular days. And so that includes Hunbat's men, who was part of the Harmonic Convergence in 1987. It includes Don Alejandro Osla, who is the head of the Council of Elders of the Maya, and it includes Don Rigoberto Itzep, who is in Momostenango, and who is the person who oversees the training of and initiation of new day keepers, as they called among the Maya. And it's really through this kind of a process where mentors have been teaching new day keepers that the Mayan calendar, the sacred calendar, has survived over the 500 years that it's been suppressed, essentially. And the heart of this system is really then in a location called Momostenango, and so we're very happy to see that being part of this event. But then there will that you might call be the Western Equatorial point, but